Jennifer Aniston having a bit of a sook about TikTokers and YouTube making a bit of a living online. Seems a bit strange. She's worth $300 million and she should complain about people who she says are famous for nothing. Okay, Jenny, I'll tell you one thing. They're not famous for nothing. This is what you forget. They're famous for entertaining people. People only go to their channel because they're entertained. If they're not entertained, they don't go to the channel. They go find a different channel to be entertained by. You do a form of entertainment. They do a different form of entertainment. But I don't know why you should be jealous of them. You're worth $300 million. Those people, nowhere near worth that much. And in terms of fame, I want to put that in perspective too, because if I said to anyone at work, do you know who Jennifer Aniston is? And they'd say, yeah, that's that girl that was with Brad Pitt. She was in Friends. That's about all they'd remember from you, which is fine. But on the other hand, I've asked people if they know who PewDiePie is. He's only got over 100 million subscribers on YouTube, and they've never heard of the man. So while he is famous in certain circles, he's not famous around the world like you are. You're worth $300 million, and good chance he's not. Even if he makes $10 million a year, what do you care? What do you care? Why do you even care that someone's making money from TikTok or YouTube? I've been thinking about it, and I think, well, okay, in terms of barriers to entry, I think that's one element. So in her case, I'm sure that nepotism had absolutely nothing to do with her career at all from her father, John Aniston. I'm sure there was no nepotism at all. After that, you've got the mogul nepotistic area, the people running the show. This is why they all have to praise each other. This is why when Megan Fox said something bad about Michael Bay, that was pretty well the end of her career. So they always praise each other. And in this case, she is praising her industry as a whole while bagging out the other industry. So she's still on that side of trying to be in the good books of her industry. That's how I read it. YouTube, grab a camera, away you go. Grab a microphone, away you go. Use your iPhone. You don't even need expensive gear. People do stuff on iPhones. Grab an iPhone. Grab an iPhone, go for a walk. Grab an iPhone, hold it at the end of your hand in your backyard and put a few things out. People will watch it, people won't. And of course, the other thing is the entertainment's not controlled on YouTube. The viewer who wants to be entertained selects their entertainment as opposed to having it selected for them by the legacy entertainment industry, which is what she's a part of. And of course, I don't like that either. If I want to go and watch something that's not what she's been involved in, I can go and choose it. Whether or not that is gaming, whether or not that is fixing a car, watching a how-to video, or just commentary podcasts or anything like that, I can do that. And granted, YouTube will control the growth of a channel up until a certain point. After that, it becomes automatic. It doesn't matter what YouTube does. But up until a certain point's reached, it's all about YouTube's control, whether or not they grow the channel, whether or not they push the videos out of that channel. That's all up to YouTube's doing. Now, YouTube does control that a little bit, so like the media moguls control who is successful in that Hollywood acting area and who isn't. But outside of that, there's no restriction. There's no nepotism on YouTube. There's a little bit, but there's no restriction on a nepotism. Anyone can have the YouTube god smile on them greatly or even just moderately. There's people that are moderately successful, making a living out of YouTube, and I've never heard of them. And there's loads of them. Apparently there's over 100,000 of them in this country who make a living from YouTube alone. And I've never heard of them. So, why she should be jealous. I think she's probably a little bit jealous, a bit green with envy that she's had to play all these stupid games. She has to be nice, but YouTubers can even make a living out of specifically not being nice to other people within YouTube. And then they can do back and forth videos, and each person's video just has a go at the other person, and they both get views, and the fans of each will just keep going backwards and forwards. Becomes its own entertainment in itself, doesn't it? So I don't think she likes that uncontrolled thing. Don't know why. She's worth $300 million, and there's no one on YouTube that's worth $300 million that I'm aware of. There might be worth more, but what does it matter to her? Why should she care? Especially considering that YouTube does have that thing where your chosen people get preferences over others on YouTube to launch YouTube channels. Maybe that's it. Maybe she launched a YouTube channel and it hasn't worked like she thought. So therefore, all the other YouTubers are famous for nothing. But they're not. They're famous for entertaining.